The Strait of Gibraltar, also known as the Pillars of Hercules by the ancients and Romans, is a narrow channel connecting the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. This small sea route passes between two crucial continents, with a minimum distance of just 13 kilometers at one point, where Africa and Europe come so close that one can easily see the other continent from one shore. Despite this proximity, no bridge has yet been constructed to connect the two continents by land. Numerous proposals have been made over the decades to build such a connection, as it would be significant for linking the 450 million population of the European Union with Africa's 1.5 billion people. This would greatly impact the economies of both continents, boosting trade, improving transportation, and significantly increasing tourism. But the question is, if there are so many advantages, why hasn't a bridge been built across the Strait of Gibraltar yet? The Strait of Gibraltar connects two significant bodies of water, the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. The strait is approximately 57 kilometers long, with a width of only 8 miles or 13 kilometers at the narrowest point between Spain's Tarifa and Morocco's Ceuta. The average depth of the strait is about 1,200 feet, or 365 meters. Though the strait appears small, its importance is immense because it forms a natural passage between the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. Unlike the man-made Suez Canal, which connects the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, the Strait of Gibraltar provides an open route for large cargo ships, reducing the risk of ships getting stuck due to limited width, a challenge often faced by the Suez Canal. Each year, around 20,000 ships pass through the Suez Canal, 14,000 through the Panama Canal, and an astonishing 100,000 ships pass through the Strait of Gibraltar. Numerous cargo vessels bring valuable goods from the Western Hemisphere to the Middle East, Africa, and Europe, with some even crossing the Suez Canal to reach Asia and China. Similarly, ships traveling from the Middle East to Western Europe or America also rely on the Strait of Gibraltar. Being close to fossil fuel-rich countries, this route is commonly used by oil tankers, with around 300 oil vessels carrying billions of dollars worth of cargo passing through the strait daily. And the Strait of Gibraltar is a crucial trade route for global markets, providing employment opportunities for nearby countries. Spain's Algeciras port is Europe's largest shipping port, while Morocco's Tangier port is rapidly growing. Considering these financial benefits from trade and tourism, many people wonder why no bridge has been built yet to connect these two parts of the world. It's not that the idea hasn't been explored. Since 1979, numerous feasibility studies and proposals have been presented, but several challenges make constructing a bridge here difficult. Let's start with the cost. Estimates suggest that building a bridge across the Strait of Gibraltar could cost anywhere between $5 billion and $20 billion, as this bridge would be much more complex than others worldwide. Not only must the bridge be designed to allow the passage of the world's largest ships beneath it, but doing so is easier said than done. Now, let's discuss why this task is so difficult. The estimated cost of $5.20 billion raises the question of who would bear this expense. Clearly, the countries benefiting from the Strait of Gibraltar, namely Spain and Morocco, would need to cover the cost. However, no political agreement has been reached between these countries. Spain argues that Morocco would benefit more from the bridge and should therefore bear a greater share of the cost, while Moroccan leadership insists on a 50-50 cost split. The second issue is the feasibility of the bridge. How beneficial would it really be after its construction? For example, consider the Channel Tunnel between the UK and France, which cost $14.5 billion to build, but is used by over 20 million passengers annually. A passenger can travel from the UK to France for $121 or around $150, meaning the tunnel generates nearly $3 billion annually, double its construction cost. Similarly, even if a bridge were built across the Strait of Gibraltar, there is skepticism about whether it would generate enough revenue to cover the construction costs. Morocco, for instance, has a GDP of just $130 billion, half that of Pakistan. Even if a bridge costing $5 billion were built and the minimum toll were set at $20, the bridge would need 250 million passengers annually to break even, a very optimistic figure. The next challenge is the construction of the bridge itself. As mentioned earlier, the Strait of Gibraltar is a busy shipping route, so the bridge would need to be tall enough not to disrupt this traffic, posing a significant engineering challenge. The average depth of the strait is 1,200 feet. But at certain points, it reaches depths exceeding 3,000 feet, deeper than the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. So, constructing pillars over 3,000 feet tall underwater would be a task that would make engineers very nervous. Additionally, the water currents here are not uniform. At the ocean floor, water flows from east to west, while at the surface it flows from west to east. Thus, the pillars would need to withstand pressure from both sides. However, the biggest threat to the bridge would not be the enormous underwater pillars, but the Earth's tectonic plates. Yes, the Earth's crust is made up of different sections called tectonic plates, which are constantly moving. Where these plates meet, earthquakes are common. Unfortunately, the African and Eurasian plates meet right beneath the Strait of Gibraltar, making any potential bridge vulnerable to devastating earthquakes. This region is no stranger to earthquakes, such as the 1755 Lisbon earthquake, which caused widespread destruction in Portugal, Spain, and Morocco, or the 1960 earthquake with a magnitude of 5.7 that wreaked havoc in Agadir, Morocco. Therefore, constructing a bridge across the Strait of Gibraltar would require it to withstand not only the strong currents of the Atlantic Ocean, but also potentially catastrophic earthquakes of magnitudes 9 or 10. In addition to these risks, the ocean floor in the Strait of Gibraltar is unstable. Researchers warn that the soft clay layers beneath the strait cannot support a structure, as this soft clay could shift during geological activity or under pressure. Geologists caution that any construction project in this area could fail disastrously due to these clay channels. However, this doesn't mean the two continents cannot be connected in any way. Alternatives have been suggested, such as a tunnel beneath the ocean floor, similar to the Channel Tunnel between the UK and France. But such a project would further increase costs, raising questions about the project's feasibility. Additionally, there are concerns in Spain and other European Union countries that building a tunnel or bridge could lead to a surge in African refugees or illegal immigrants into Europe, making it difficult to manage the situation. These are the primary reasons why, despite the proximity of the two continents, no bridge has been built across the Strait of Gibraltar yet. Please like and share this video and leave your supportive comments. Thank you so much for your love.